Hey friends, hope you're doing amazing. My name is Steven, and today I want to talk to you about the DJI Neo. And I want to share my thoughts with you about what my experience was taking it out on the trail, and if this is a worthy hiking vlog buddy to take with you out there. I'm going to tell you about the pros, the cons, and what to watch out for, but let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, one of the first things that drew me to this drone about the capabilities that it had was your ability to be able to use this as a cameraman to follow you wherever you go, and you don't have to pay the guy. So that is definitely a luxury. So I went ahead and tried it out in the forest, and it did pretty well. There were times when I was testing it to see how it adjusted to the elevation gain that I was gaining there on the trail, and it handled it pretty well. The obstacle avoidance is all right. It's pretty good for the most part. There were a couple of instances where it kind of seemed like it was going to be running into some branches, but it just barely was able to get through those sections. Didn't crash, so that is a positive, but for the most part, the follow mode feature on this drone was exceptional. It was really good. So another really cool thing about this drone is that it is so light. This thing is so light. It hardly weighs anything. You don't have to worry about adding a whole lot of weight to your bag. You could hardly feel that it's actually in there. I mean, granted, you could actually have a small case for it. I know I went ahead and did that just because I like to have cases for my equipment. But if you don't want a case, I think you'll just be fine just having the guard right here and probably some prop guards like I have right here. These hardly weigh anything, and you'll be good to go. That is something that is really fantastic though, because it really does feel like a toy, but it's not. It actually has advanced camera and follow features within the drone. So technology is an amazing thing, man. You know, very cool. Another thing I really enjoyed about using this drone on the trail was that it's super easy to use. It really is. All the functionality is right here. It's listed for you. As you press the button, the voice command actually describes what feature you're scrolling through. So that's very easy. And yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to it. If you don't want to use it with a controller or FPV goggles and FPV controller, you'll be good to go with this. So very easy to use. Another really cool thing about this is that it does offer a approximate 15 minute battery lifespan. Now, some would actually look at that as a drawback and be like, well, I would love to have 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour lifespan. I understand that argument, but at the same time, for me personally, and for me to get the shots that I need, all I really need is the 15-minute lifespan. And we have to be realistic too, just because it's a smaller drone, it's a more compact drone, it's a more simplistic drone, and you know, they want to keep the weight off of this thing. So DJI, I think, designed it in such a way where we still have a good 15 minutes to be able to get the shots that we need, and at the same time make it light enough. So I think that is an advantage with this drone. Another thing that I thought that was really cool about this drone is that it is hyper focused on the subject that it's following. Take, for example, I wanted to do a simple test on the trail where I had the drone follow my wife, and it was able to follow her despite the fact that I was hiking right in front, but it was following her mostly, and it just didn't stray off, you know, trying to go off to the side and try to follow me instead. So it wasn't doing that. Very hyper focused, very intentional, and determined to follow its subject no matter what. So that was pretty impressive about this drone. Another thing about this drone is that it's very versatile. Not only can you use it as just a follow vlog type of drone, but also if you want to break out the FPV goggles, if you want to use it with a controller, you can certainly do that. Now, I use this FPV style and it flew pretty well. pretty well. I would say it's a little bit quirky in how it's turning sometimes. I would say that the Avata 2 is probably a little bit more smoother in flight than this one. But for what it is, given the fact that it is a selfie follow vlog type of drone, and that you can actually use it as an FPV as well, I think is pretty cool. I think it's just, it just goes to show how amazing this technology is and how the versatility that it has to offer. Now, one of the first drawbacks I found with this drone is the camera. Now, it's not terrible, but it's also not great. So it's in the middle, but I'm taking it for what it's worth. It's a $200 drone. It's a selfie, compact, simplistic drone. So I'm not really expecting Mavic 3 Pro Hasselblad camera quality out of this thing. The other thing too that I discovered about the camera is that you can get some good type of footage. You just have to be able to tinker with it in post-production in a video editing software, where you can mess around with the sharpness, the color settings, the color grading, and you could actually get something decent from this camera. But straight out of the box, straight out of the camera, without any post-production, it's in the middle. Now, something else that I found was kind of a drawback was the prop noise. Now, this little drone is loud. It is definitely loud. It will make its presence known to everybody around you, for sure. So you just have to be aware of that. Again, I'm not expecting much. I wasn't expecting much. It is what it is, just be aware of that. If you are hiking in certain spots and you're on a busy trail and there's a lot of people around you, you're probably going to be bugging them. This is not a quiet drone, so. Another limitation about this drone is that it does not have an SD card slot within the drone, and you just have to be aware of that. Again, if you're taking this out on the trail, you don't want to be recording on and on and on and on and on. Just be aware. Now, if you're recording with the drone for long durations of time, those files are going to build up. So just remember that. Don't take too much time trying to get a really good shot. Do what you need to do. Be strategic about it, and you should be fine. Another thing to be aware of when taking this out is that you really can't do a whole lot of complex shots without having a controller with you as well. So just be aware of that. I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into when I took this out there. It wasn't a deal breaker, but it does limit you. So just be aware that if you're just taking the drone by itself out there, you're just going to use it as a vlogging selfie drone. Now, another thing to be aware of with this drone is that it is not foldable. Now, there are competitors that are out there that will fold, and you could easily put those in your pocket, your backpack, whatever. You could still put this in your pocket. I actually had mine with a case when I was out there. I like to buy cases for my stuff, and it added a little bit more girth and a little bit more weight to my backpack, not too much. So it really wasn't a big deal for me anyway. But yeah, just something to keep in mind, that this is not a foldable drone. What are my overall thoughts, and will I be taking this out on the trail again? I think it performed pretty well. For what it is and the kind of technology that it offers, it's pretty advanced, and it does a fantastic job just following and doing different maneuvers, preset maneuvers that it has installed. In addition to using it on the trail, I also used it in urban environments, and it performed very, very well in those. Taking it FPV style, using it follow me style, and it was just great. Very impressed with the technology that they were able to fit on this little device. But I'm looking forward to using this on many adventures to come. All right, so those are my overall thoughts. Hey, let me know what you think. Let me know if you are thinking about getting the drone. If you have gotten it, what are your thoughts? What do you think? But thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the content. If you want to see more content like this, it certainly helps out the channel when you subscribe and you like. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I will talk to you guys next time.